tonight. I met Onesphore during my trip to Burundi, and as many of you know, all of you know, who were reading my dispatches from the field, Onesphore, I didn't meet him until the last day of my trip, but it was the most significant day of the entire trip. It was really an amazing thing, and one of the reasons why we connected so much is that there are some commonalities in our background, which is really neat. Onesphore is a lawyer, and he felt called into ministry, and although he's trained as a lawyer, he has devoted his life, given his entire life to his ministry called Harvest for Christ. And you know, there are a lot of similarities in our work, our belief, and I'm just so pleased to have him here to talk about not only his ministry, but also give his testimony, which I think you're going to find very fascinating. So, without further ado, let's welcome Onesphore. I can't pronounce your last name, Manakariza, right? I'll let you pronounce it out.
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, when two cultures have to face one another, there's always problems. You are failing pronouncing my name. I have some challenges also in this culture. One of them is pillows. I've been this is my third week in the US, and I've been sleeping in many families, and in every family there was like 8 pillows on one bed. And my question was, do I sleep on all of them? Is that allowed to take some of them out and put them on the floor? Sometimes I decided to take them out, so maybe no one will come and see me. And the other question was in the morning, do I get them back to the bed? And which will be first and which will be last? Then, Naya, I'm sorry if you find the bed in the disorder, I'm sorry. I don't know how you do it.
That's okay, I don't even know. Barb will put it back together.
Okay, that is what it means to be in another culture, you know. And God is calling us to be in other cultures. Jesus did the same. He left heaven, he came on earth, and became somebody from the Middle East, and they had to be like them. I think he faced the same challenges as we do. Yes, I'm called Onesphore Manirakiza. I will explain the meaning of Manirakiza later. Onesphore is a name you find in the Bible, 2 Timothy 4:19. It's one of the families which was looking after Paul, even when he was in prison. And Paul is proud of him. I don't know why they gave me this name. You know, I grew up in this nominal Catholic family where my father was asked to give me a name for baptism. And he didn't have any name in French or English. And it had to be French or English. And then the priest picked Onesphore as my name. Praise God, it is a good name. And I'm from Africa, Burundi. You see the map of Africa, and you see Burundi, something red. Very small country. If you want to compare Burundi to one state of US, I would say Maryland state. That is Burundi where it is. When you look carefully, you will see DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo, where my friend is from. And you find Tanzania. In the east, you find Rwanda is a very tiny country too. And if you see Kenya and so on. If you consider where Burundi is located, we call it the heart of Africa. If Africa was a person, Burundi would be a heart, if you consider where Burundi is located. And some of us may not understand clearly how big is Africa. You can put many countries in Africa and they will fit there. You can put US, United States, you can put China, You can put there France, you can put there Spain, Eastern Europe, and so on. It's a big continent with 54 countries. And with many resources, but which are not yet beneficial for the continent. Burundi has a shape of a human heart. You see, we call it the heart of Africa, and the shape itself is not fully on the screen, but the shape itself, it's a shape of a human heart. I live in Bujumbura, which is the capital city, but I do many activities in different parts of the rest of the country. And we have a beach. Today I enjoyed having a tour in different places and being on ocean. We have a beach, we have Lake Tanganyika that connects, when you go back, you see under this red thing, there's a lake connecting Burundi, Congo, Tanzania, Zambia. It's the second deepest lake in the world after Lake Baikal. And we have animals. That is something like gorilla. We have, what is that?
Antelope.
Something like antelope. We have crocodiles. And we have the monstrous crocodile, the biggest in the world. His name is Gustav. If you go and Google Gustav, just do it tonight. It's the very huge crocodile. Having a trip to Zambia or wherever has killed many people. It's called Gustav.
How big is that?
I don't remember exactly the figure, but it's long. Go and Google it, you'll find it. Okay, Burundi was a monarchy before the colonizers came to Burundi. And some people say, why did you decide to have a small country? Why didn't you belong to Congo? Why didn't you decide to be part of Tanzania? Because you are near Tanzania. But Burundi was already a very strong monarchy when the colonizers came to Africa. Burundi and Rwanda, two strong monarchies speaking the same language. It was not easy for us to be part of the other countries. And this is a king who was ruling the country when the colonizers came. He was a very brave king. And but when he surrendered to the colonizers, they found out that it was difficult to rule this country. That is why they decided to do what we call divide and rule. And they said, we have three tribes. Hutu, who are 84%, Tutsi, who are 15%, and Twa, Pygmies, who are 1%. And decided, we can't rule on this country unless we divide them. How did they do? They say to Hutu, they decided, Tutsi are very smart. They are made to rule. Okay? And they say, Tutsi, they send Tutsis to good schools, and the Hutu were just workers, working the land, submitted to Tutsi. No one of the two tribes have decided this, but they found themselves in the situation of ruling and being led. And some years after they changed the game, they went to Hutu. What do you think about these guys ruling on you for years and years? Why don't you kick them out? That is how the genocide, the first genocide started in Rwanda in 1959. It is a revolution of Hutu students against Tutsi king, and they just chased Tutsi and killed them in Rwanda. But because Rwanda and Burundi are close countries and similar situation, the Tutsi who left Rwanda came to Burundi. And when they came to Burundi, were just putting a pressure on other Tutsi in Burundi. Say, if you are not careful, the Hutu will do the same they did in Rwanda. That is how Burundi found itself, Burundians found themselves in a big tension, in a big division. And that is the hero of independence. That was a prince who fought against the colonization. He was killed before we celebrated the Independence Day. And this is the flag of Burundi before the military coup. There was slogan and there was a drum. But this time already there was a kind of turbulence happening in the country because of the tension caused by genocide in Rwanda. And then after the hero of independence was killed, there was a big discussion, who is going to take his position? And fortunately or unfortunately, the guy who was supposed to take the position was a Hutu. And they didn't, the Tutsi were afraid, they didn't want him to be the prime minister. And then the Hutu concluded, wow, they want to do the opposite of what we did in Rwanda. Then there was a lot of violence, which led to a coup d'etat. And this coup d'etat was led by a military guy, a captain, Michombero. And do you see the change of the flags? Do you see something different? Yeah. If you are used to military stuff, you will find that this is for a captain. Instead of putting the sorghum and the drama, which symbolize the kingship, he put there the stars, which symbolize a captain in the army. I don't like this flag. That is the big. Then this was a beginning of a long bad history, a long nightmare in our country, where there was suspicion between Hutu and Tutsi. And there was a killing in 1969 against Hutu. There was a kind of pro-organized, and some high-rank military Hutu were killed. Some of them left the country, went to Congo and Tanzania. They organized themselves to come back in 1972, trying to take the country in the south of Burundi, but were arrested. And the government, which was the Tutsi government, organized a genocide against the Hutu, against educated Hutu, all educated Hutu.